Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about the film Judge Dredd. When this film came out, I was 11 going on 12. It was kind of a weird summer for me because I basically spent majority of my days in elementary school reading comic books, going to the comic book store alternate worlds on the weekends, and any time there was a comic book movie or a cartoon show, I would want to see it. And so I heard about Judge Dredd, and I knew it was based on a comic book. I don't know anything about the Judge Dredd comic. I still don't. I had a friend, when I told him I was probably going to shoot a review for this and watch the movie, he was like, brought up the comic that it came from, because apparently it's not just based on a comic that is just called Judge Dredd, and I was like, what are you talking about? And I had no clue. So I just don't know. So this was like a weird summer for me because I was getting more into MTV, and it's like middle school then, there wasn't a tween market, really. You were just like, you were either a kid or you're a teenager. It's like, pick one or the other. And I was kind of both. I still read my comic books. I still wanted to go outside and play like X-Men and stuff, but no one was into that, and that was depressing. And I tried to play Judge Dredd, nobody wanted to play that. And I wasn't allowed to see this movie. And Judge Dredd kind of always had this place for a long time for me. And then it's like, it's funny, when I was allowed to rent R-rated movies, I just like didn't do it, you know, probably because I heard it was terrible, and I didn't really know that much about Stallone. And it's a weird era for Stallone. It was past when he was a star, really. It was kind of waning. People were getting sick of him and his goofiness, and now like we kind of embrace him for his goofiness, but I think at the time in the 90s it just wasn't right. And watching it, it's just depressing because I think it reminds me of a summer that I just remember, like, I think I couldn't really sleep that much. Like, I just didn't have that many friends. And watching Judge Dredd is both depressing because boy does this movie suck. I don't know whose fault it is, if it's Danny Cannon who directed it or Sylvester Stallone, since both of them blame each other. And I kind of think it's both of their faults because it doesn't have really a tone to it. It doesn't seem to understand what little I know about the character. It doesn't really even understand the character. He's not supposed to take off his mask. I know that much, and he does that at like the first 15 minutes, and throughout the entire movie he's not wearing a mask. It's like, okay. Really, this should have been a Verhoeven movie, or something like. If someone just had ripped off, made a Verhoeven ripoff, it would have been better than this piece of shit. It needed to be more of a satire, and it just kind of was sometimes, but then tried to be serious, and also tried to be a summer blockbuster with like Rob Schneider as the Disney sidekick, like he's like the dragon for Mulan, but he's in Judge Dredd. Every time I watch it, I think of this is kind of like depressing time in my life where it's just like middle school is about to start, and I was too young to really get a job, unfortunately. I didn't go to camp that summer. And then when I watch it, I think both about then and how terrible this movie is. It's just terrible. And how much it sucked being 11 and 12. I'll never be one of those people like, man, wasn't a kid being great? I was like, I was kind of done with it by even that point. I think this film will forever remind me of that summer of 95 and how truly, truly shitty it was. And how I even thought, I think Batman Forever was a decent movie. Probably just because I was in such a shitty place at the time that I thought Batman Forever was a good movie. And now I watch it and I go, I really didn't know much about movies then. That I thought I should see stuff like this. This wasn't much of a review, to be honest. I just saw this movie and I said, I thought, I'm going to do this review. It's like, I'm going to do it. But this is what I think about when I watch this movie. And you don't really need another review telling you the Stallone Judge Dredd movie sucks. I think you all know. So if you have seen Judge Dredd and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments. And subscribe if you would like to. I'm glad I'm not 11 anymore. Just very glad. Now I'm sad.